Okay, today I'm finishing up this video to show some modifications and changes I've made to the Harbor Freight's parts washer I purchased a while back. I wasn't exactly happy with its original design, so I made a few changes and upgrades to better suit it for what I wanted. So I made this video for those that are interested, and I'll go over the changes and show some modifications I made. This is basically the standard Harbor Freight's parts washer. They have two of them. They have a real small plastic one that's like a 6-gallon, I think. And then they have this, which is their basic 20-gallon. And it lists for like $120, but it's usually on sale for not over $100 all the time, 99 bucks. And you can catch it on sale for 85 or low 80s. With a coupon on the 100, you can get it for about 80, 85, 89. I think I give 85 bucks for this one. But let's go over some of the changes that I've made. I took the trays out just for illustration so I can show it a little better on what I did. This is the basic washer, but I wound up just using the tub pretty much as all I used out of it, and the pump housing. The way it comes is it has a drain, which is basically just a threaded pipe which is embossed into the tank there. And it comes with a bolt screwed into that. And whenever you want to use it, you either, depending on what solution, how you want to do that, you can either fill it up with a hose, or you have to fill it up by hand with the containers the solution comes in to wash your part. And when you're done, the solution will stay in your tank. You have to leave it sitting in the tank all the time. Otherwise, you have to pull a bolt out of the bottom of the drain that they had here from under the tank and then drain it out. And then repeat the process whenever you want to wash something again. I didn't want solution standing in my tank all the time, and I didn't want to have to repeat filling it up and draining it out every time I want to do something. So I made some modifications. First, I took all the legs off, bolted me up some new angle iron legs. I decided not to weld them because in case I wanted to make some more changes to it later. These are 5 millimeters thick, so kind of overkill, but it's what I had laying around. Those will hold anything that I can put in there, including transmissions or whatever, anything big enough to fit in the tank. It is very well sturdy. The ones it came with were 1 millimeter. Those are 5 millimeters thick, a little over. This is what it came with, which is 1 millimeter, and which is quite a big difference. You can bend these by hand if you try. There's not very much to them. And those are 24 inches high. I raised it up another 8 inches. The ones I put on are 32 inches high. And the reason I had for doing that is because I wanted to put a drum under here to hold my solution in under the bottom of the tank. So I put this 16-gallon plastic drum under here. I want a metal one, but they're getting harder to come by. But after I locate one of those, I'm going to swap it over to a metal drum. But anyway, I put this 16-gallon plastic one under here, which works very well for now. The next thing I did, I took the bolt out, which hopefully you can see. This is the bottom of the drain right here. There's a little embossed pipe that had come down, had the bolt stuck in. I took the bolt out and just put a basic ball valve in it to replace the bolt, which is right there, and that's my drain. I just close the handle to seal it off, open it up to drain it. The next thing I did, you come up to the top of the tank. The way it's set up is, once you fill it up, your solution just comes through a pump right here in the box, and then pumps back out into the nozzle here into the tank. Well, the way I did it, I come to the outside of the tank here, drill me these 3 holes. The first one right here is a copper line I've got running down into the tank, which pumps the solution from the tank up into the bay here. Once I get that level I want it at, I just cut that off. Then I cut on the actual washer pump here, which draws the solution from the tank into the box here, just like it originally did. And then I'm pumping it out this line right here, out of the tank, and down through this line into a Fram oil filter, racing oil filter, remote oil filter system I put on it, which would be used on any standard performance car, race car, or if you got a performance muscle car or something that you wanted an alternate filter on. And pump it through the filter to catch a lot of the solution, all the trash and stuff out of it. Then it comes back out this line, comes back into the tank and through the nozzle here to help keep the solution more cleaner. Plus that filter I've got on here, and then another filter in the little pump down there. For the one in the tank, you can use different pumps or what you want. I used a Harbor Freight fountain pump. It's a 200-gallon pump rated at 200 GPH, 200 gallons per hour. And the one I used up here, I took out the pump that they originally had in there, which it was rated at 5 gallons per minute. I forgot what that is off the top of my head. I think it's small. It's like 150 gallons an hour or something. I took it out and put a big Harbor Freight 600 gallon per hour pump that they've got that'll fit the little nose cone. They're plastic. The little nose cone will pull right off the front where the filter goes in, and then it'll fit right in here. It's pretty much perfect fit. You ain't got much room, but it'll slide right in. The reason why I did that, when I rigged it up, I found out the pump they had in there, it was drawing from the bottom of the pump, was where the entrance was, and it mounts up a little bit high in here on in the actual container. I run into a problem with that because when I fill it was getting a vapor lock. When I'd fill the tank up here, once I drain it out, when I pump it back in again, once I fill the tank up to where I wanted, and I turn on the pump to run it through the nozzle, it wouldn't come through because it was vapor locking. So I put this little nozzle on here for just like you have on your air compressor, which is fine, but all I had to do was disconnect that. It'd be a hassle if you had to unscrew the bolt every time and take it out. You can disconnect that and connect it right back up and it'll work fine. But I didn't want to have to do that all the time. So what I did is I put that 600 gallon Harbor Freight pump in here. It draws from the side rather than the bottom. And that eliminated the vapor lock issue. Now I can just pump it in there, and then I turn the pump on and it automatically comes out running fine to whatever I want. So I'll turn it on here. And that's about a 200-gallon pump. You can see it pumps just fine, filling it up. I recommend the bigger the pump that you can get to go with will be better. Close my valve off here. I had the drain valve open. The bigger the pump, the better. I use that smaller pump because I don't have a metal drum right now that I want. And this lid here, this is a solid lid, and I didn't have a top for it. So I didn't want to bore the hole out bigger than I had to here because I was trying to keep it closed up. So I put the 200-gallon pump in there because that was about as small as I could fit in there, or as big as I could fit in there, and still get it through the hole all right. And I still had to open the hole up some. If you go with like a 100 or 150 pump, it won't be big enough to draw the water up through your tube. You need a 200-gallon or better, because it'll tell you on the pump boxes, you know, the head height, you need something that'll push it like 4 feet, 4.5 feet or better, and it works perfect. But I recommend as big a pump as you can get. This is fine, but it takes about roughly 10 minutes if I fill it all the way up. When I get my other drum, I'm going to go to a 600-gallon pump, and I figure that'll fill it up. If I want to fill it all the way to the limit, that'll fill it up probably in 3 to 5 minutes max. So, which is plenty enough time. It's recommended you only fill to here for the water level, but I'll fill it up more than that. You can go as high as you want. You can go all the way up to this seam right here on your tank. Just keep in mind, obviously, you don't want to, if you get up, because this is not sealed in, you get up too high, you get up much past that, you start getting in the danger zone of getting out here into the electronics on your switch, and that wouldn't be good. But it takes roughly 4 or 5 minutes with a big pump. It probably takes 7 or 8 minutes to fill it all the way up as it is now with this. But you can see, I mean, it runs fine. I'm not going to fill it all the way up. I'm just going to fill it up enough for illustration to show how it pumps. Once I get it to where I want it, I just kick on the other pump. So it should be up to the filter now. I still got a little bit to go. I just kick on the other pump and it'll pump it right out the tube with no problem. With a 600-gallon pump in the tank to match the one up here in the bay, it would be perfect. I haven't had it done that long. I've used it several times. Haven't had any issues with it so far. Works great. I haven't had any blockages or stop-ups or anything. I've got a filter on the little pump down in the tank, and I'm running it through the oil filter up here to drain it out more, and then I've also got a filter in the box here to drain it. So I've got 3 filters on it, and you can take like an old pulley or something like that and set the pump on that's in the tank down there. Keep it up off the very bottom, and that way you'll stay away from sludge and stuff building up in there too. But I'm very happy with it. It works very well for my purposes. And I haven't decided yet. I may put it on some casters. Haven't really decided if I want to do that or not. I may put it on some casters like a roll toolbox to make it a little bit more maneuverability. I've seen people do that and put shelves, put a shelf down at the bottom of it too. But it came with a shelf, but it mounts in the middle where I got those braces set up. Obviously I couldn't use it because I couldn't put a drum under it. Or if I did, it'd be so tall you wouldn't even be able to use it that way. But I've seen people put casters, and also I've seen people take and put heating elements in them out of water heaters to heat them up. So there's plenty of ideas you can do. I've seen one guy take a windshield washer motor and mount in his, run an arm up and through there, and then he put a screen tray in here, and the wiper motor actuated the tray to wash his parts. And I thought that was pretty slick. You can go to my website, DA26920, here on YouTube, and look on my playlist. I've got one listed, parts washer, and I've posted some other videos on there that other people have done, uploaded them, ideas that were good. And that one's on there with the windshield washer motor. One guy took made one out of an air tank. So you know, there's several ways you can do it, but I'm very happy with this one. It suits my purposes. So I'll turn on the pump here. And as you can see, that's with a 600 gallon. That pumps out very well. I mean, it pumps as strong or stronger than it did with the other little pump that they had in there. It's a stronger pressure because it's a lot bigger pump than it comes with. But there's several different ways you can do it. So that's just an idea of one way. Hope this will help some people, give you some ideas if you're thinking about doing one, on different ways to do it. And hope this is helpful. So I guess that's it until my next video. Thanks for watching.